I am Dr. William Harris. I have spent over 4 decades as a physician, standing beside thousands of men, husbands, fathers, grandfathers who sat across from me, eyes heavy with exhaustion, faces lined not just with age, but with frustration and quiet fear. Today, though I am retired from my formal medical practice, I have not retired from my calling. This is my mission now, to bring you the truth that too many men have never been told, but desperately need to hear. You see, throughout my career, one problem echoed more often than almost any other. Doctor, I can't sleep anymore. I wake up 2, 3, sometimes 5 times a night to go to the bathroom. I feel drained. I feel helpless. Is this just what happens when you get old? At first glance, their assumption seems reasonable. We've been conditioned to believe that age is a slow, unstoppable thief. That after 60, after 70, our bodies simply betray us. That the frequent urination, the restless nights, the fatigue every morning are inevitable punishments of growing older. That we must endure this silent suffering because it is normal. But allow me to tell you something that may shock you. Something that I have seen again and again throughout my years in medicine. Aging is not the real villain here. Not entirely. No, my friend. What is quietly destroying your sleep, draining your energy, and damaging your prostate is far more subtle and far more dangerous because of how invisible it is. It's not just your age, it's what you're unknowingly doing to yourself every single night. Night after night, small, seemingly harmless habits become the silent architects of your misery. Habits you've never questioned. Habits you might have even thought were good for you. But beneath the surface, they are slowly sabotaging your body's ability to heal, crushing your bladder, inflaming your prostate, and locking you in a vicious cycle of poor sleep, fatigue, and rising frustration. The worst part? You have no idea you're doing it. I've watched strong, capable men who built businesses, raised families, fought in wars reduced to tears because they feel trapped by their own bodies. The shame of having to visit the bathroom multiple times every night robs them of dignity. The constant fatigue steals their clarity of mind. The silent irritation inside their pelvis feels like an enemy they cannot see but cannot escape. Some even confess to me privately that the fear of prostate cancer haunts their thoughts at 2 a.m. when they sit alone in the bathroom again, under the pale bathroom light. You see, what terrifies men most isn't just the discomfort or the inconvenience, it's the creeping, gnawing thought. Is my body failing? Am I breaking down? Am I slowly losing control of my life? This is why I'm here. This is why, even in retirement, I continue to speak, because I have good news. Yes, truly good news. Much of your suffering is not irreversible. In fact, the power to transform your sleep, your prostate health, and your peace of mind rests entirely in your own hands, if only you understand the 7 hidden bedtime habits that are quietly damaging your prostate. Some of these habits may surprise you. Some may even shock you. A few may seem so innocent, so routine, that you'll wonder how something so small could be creating such chaos inside your body. But as I'll show you, when these habits pile up night after night, year after year, they ignite a chain reaction of inflammation, pressure, and hormonal imbalance that silently attacks your prostate while you sleep. And here's the cruel irony. Many of these habits were born from good intentions. You may drink a warm cup of tea before bed, thinking it will help you relax. You may lie comfortably watching TV, thinking you're winding down for the evening. You may believe that one salty snack is harmless. But your body sees it differently. Your prostate feels the pressure building, the swelling increasing, the sleep cycles breaking. This video may very well be the most important one you'll ever watch for your long-term prostate health. Because tonight, I am not simply giving you generic advice. I am revealing to you the hard-won knowledge gathered from thousands of patients who made small changes and finally reclaimed their sleep, their confidence, and their freedom. But I must warn you, if you dismiss what you are about to learn, if you allow these habits to continue unchecked, then the struggle will only intensify with each passing year. And by the time many men finally seek serious help, the damage has already reached a point where surgery or invasive treatments become their only options. You do not want to find yourself in that place. Right now, while you still have control, you must act. And I will show you exactly where to start. Before we begin, I ask only one small favor from you. If you find this information valuable, if you want to support this channel so I can continue creating these educational resources for men like you, please take a moment to subscribe and turn on notifications. It is through your support that I am able to continue this mission so that no man must suffer needlessly for lack of knowledge. Now, let me challenge your mind with a simple question to start this journey. Which do you believe silently damages your prostate more while you sleep? A. The natural process of aging. B. The small nightly habits you barely notice. Please share your answer in the comments below. I read every response personally, and I am honored to walk this journey of healing with you. Stay with me because what I'm about to reveal could change the way you sleep, the way you feel, and the way you age starting tonight. Now that you understand how much power your daily habits have over your prostate, allow me as your doctor to begin lifting the curtain on the first group of culprits. These are the physical habits, the small things you do with your body before bed, that silently place your prostate under siege, night after night, without your awareness. Over my long career, I have seen thousands of men who unknowingly allowed these habits to steal their peace, disturb their sleep, and ignite the silent inflammation that worsens their prostate condition. Let me begin with one of the most deceptive mistakes I've witnessed, something most men would never imagine could be harmful: hydration. You see, we are constantly reminded of the importance of drinking water. Stay hydrated. Drink more. And yes, hydration is essential during the day. But what few men realize is that the timing of your water intake is just as critical as the amount. So many of my patients proudly told me they were drinking plenty of water each day, often continuing to sip late into the evening, thinking they were doing their bodies good. What they didn't realize was that by consuming large amounts of water, tea, or even warm milk close to bedtime, they were setting themselves up for a long night of interrupted sleep. When you overload your bladder late in the evening, you create internal pressure that your prostate, especially if already enlarged, cannot easily withstand. The bladder, forced to stretch and contract throughout the night, triggers your brain to wake you repeatedly. Each time you rise from bed to visit the bathroom, your body is torn from the deep sleep cycles that are essential for reducing inflammation and healing. DAMAGED tissues, including the sensitive tissues of the prostate. These men were unknowingly robbing themselves of nature's most powerful repair mechanism: deep, uninterrupted sleep. The solution I've offered my patients for years is simple, yet life-changing. Hydrate abundantly during the first half of your day. Drink your water, your teas, your healthy fluids before 6 p.m., but as the evening progresses, taper off. In the final 2 hours before bed, avoid any fluids unless absolutely necessary. And if you must take medication at night, speak with your physician about possibly adjusting the timing or taking your pills with a minimal amount of water. Giving your bladder the opportunity to fully rest at night reduces the mechanical pressure that feeds into prostate irritation. Now let's address another silent thief of your prostate's recovery: your evening relationship with screens. Far too many men, after a long day, retreat to their bedrooms, turn on the television, and relax into the warm comfort of a few hours of their favorite shows. On the surface, this seems like a harmless way to unwind. But as I have warned countless patients, this habit carries two invisible dangers that specifically assault your prostate's healing capacity. First, remaining in one static position for prolonged periods restricts the circulation of blood in your lower abdomen. Your prostate, like every organ, requires a steady supply of oxygen-rich blood to heal and reduce inflammation. But when you lie still for hours while staring at a screen, blood flow stagnates, starving your pelvic tissues of the nutrients they desperately need for repair. Second, and equally dangerous, is the blue light emitted from those screens. This light disrupts your body's natural production of melatonin, the critical hormone that regulates sleep onset and depth. Without sufficient melatonin, your sleep becomes lighter, more fragmented, and your body never fully enters the deep restorative stages where inflammation is reduced and hormonal balance is restored. Time and time again, I've counseled men who swore they were going to bed early, yet still woke up exhausted, bewildered by their constant nighttime urination. They didn't realize that their hours of passive screen time before sleep were quietly dismantling their prostate's healing potential. The path to reversing this is not extreme. I always encourage my patients to establish a firm boundary. Power down all screens, TVs, phones, tablets at least 30 minutes before bed. Instead, use that final window of time for quiet, calming activities that nurture both the mind and body. Read a book made of paper. Practice gentle stretches to release tension from the lower back and hips. Breathe deeply. In this quiet preparation, you create the internal conditions your prostate needs to begin its nightly restoration. There is yet another physical trap I've seen ensnare far too many men, a habit often dismissed as minor: going to bed while constipated. Most men believe that if they haven't had a bowel movement that day, it can simply wait until morning. What they don't recognize is that chronic constipation exerts a silent but direct mechanical pressure upon the very organs they are struggling to protect. The rectum and intestines lie in intimate proximity to both the bladder and the prostate. When the bowel remains full overnight, this buildup presses into the lower abdomen, crowding the limited space available for the bladder to expand naturally. Even small amounts of urine then trigger urgent signals to the brain, compelling multiple awakenings throughout the night. But the problem doesn't stop with mere awakenings. The continued compression of these organs places physical strain on the prostate itself, fostering an environment of sustained irritation. Moreover, when the bowels remain sluggish, blood circulation within the pelvic floor becomes compromised, reducing the delivery of vital nutrients necessary for healing. Over months and years, this seemingly minor inconvenience accumulates into a significant contributor to prostate dysfunction. For my patients, I've always emphasized proactive digestive care as a vital element of prostate health. Ensure your diet contains generous portions of leafy greens, fruits like kiwi and prunes, and whole grains that encourage regular gentle bowel movements. Remain adequately hydrated earlier in the day to support digestion, and incorporate light post-dinner walks to stimulate the natural rhythm of your intestines. When necessary, gentle fiber supplements or magnesium can be used to promote consistent elimination before sleep. Never allow your body to carry the burden of waste through the night if you wish to relieve the pressure on your prostate. And finally, there is one habit so simple yet so widely neglected that it astonishes me how many men suffer because of it: skipping the final bathroom trip before bed. So often my patients would tell me, "Doctor, I didn't feel the urge, so I just went straight to sleep." This choice, though seemingly insignificant, leads to profound consequences. Even if the bladder holds only a small volume of residual urine, that fluid creates sustained pressure against the bladder wall and the neighboring prostate throughout the entire night. For men with enlarged prostates, this small residual volume compounds the inflammation and irritation that fuels nighttime awakenings. More troubling still, stagnant urine lingering in the bladder for prolonged periods becomes fertile ground for bacteria, elevating the risk of urinary tract infections and adding further complexity to prostate-related discomforts. Over time, the incomplete emptying of the bladder, already a common challenge in older men, becomes further entrenched, creating a frustrating cycle of persistent urinary symptoms. This is why I strongly urged every patient I treated to develop a simple nightly ritual. Even if you do not feel a strong urge, visit the restroom, sit for a few minutes, relax your breathing, and allow your bladder the opportunity to fully empty. By doing so, you eliminate this unnecessary internal pressure, reduce the likelihood of nighttime disturbances, and give your prostate the uninterrupted rest it needs to recover. These four seemingly minor physical habits: hydration, timing, screen use, constipation, and skipping the last bathroom visit, may appear trivial when viewed in isolation. But when practiced together, night after night, they form an unrelenting assault on your prostate's ability to heal. It is not fate nor age that traps so many men in cycles of sleepless nights and mounting frustration. It is these small, unexamined routines, easily correctable but tragically overlooked. As your doctor, and as a man who has walked this road beside thousands of patients, I tell you, once you see these invisible forces for what they are, you reclaim control. Small changes applied consistently open the door to profound healing. And this is only the beginning. In the next section, I will reveal the even more dangerous lifestyle habits that strike deeper still habits most men never even suspect are linked to prostate inflammation. Stay with me. What I am about to share next may completely change how you care for your body each night. As we continue this journey together, allow me now to guide you into the even more treacherous territory: the hidden lifestyle habits that do not simply press upon your prostate physically, but ignite inflammation from within. These are not habits of movement or posture alone. They are choices woven into your very way of living. And over my many years as a physician, I have seen these seemingly innocent behaviors cause untold suffering in men who never recognized the connection until it was too late. You see, the prostate is not isolated from the rest of your body's systems. It is deeply influenced by your diet, your nervous system, your circulation, and most insidiously by the quiet stressors you carry deep inside. Night after night. Inflammation is the language of distress within your body. And these lifestyle patterns silently fan its flames. Let me first speak about a habit so widespread, so commonplace in modern life, that most men would never suspect it as a culprit: evening snacking. I cannot count the number of times I sat across from a patient, good, hard-working man who confessed with a chuckle, "Doctor, I like to have a little something before bed." Nothing big, just some chips, maybe a few crackers. Sometimes a bit of sausage or cold cuts. And while their tone was light, the consequences of this habit were anything but. What they did not realize was that these small, salty snacks were slowly placing their prostate under siege. The problem lies not only in the calories or the fat content, but in the hidden sodium packed into these processed foods. Salt, when consumed excessively, causes your body to retain water. Water that inevitably exerts pressure upon your bladder and lower abdomen while you sleep. This internal pressure triggers frequent awakenings, forcing you to visit the bathroom throughout the night, disrupting your precious cycles of deep, healing sleep. But the harm does not stop there. Excessive salt quietly sabotages your blood vessels, elevating your blood pressure and impairing the circulation that delivers oxygen and nutrients to your pelvic organs. The prostate, already struggling under the load of nightly interruptions, receives even less of the vital nourishment it needs to calm inflammation and heal tissue damage. Over months and years, this cumulative starvation of proper blood flow fosters a vicious cycle where the inflammation only deepens, the swelling worsens, and the urinary symptoms multiply. I often advise my patients to rethink their definition of comfort food. You need not abandon the habit of a small evening treat, but you must choose wisely. Instead of salty processed snacks, I recommended prostate-friendly alternatives. A handful of pumpkin seeds rich in zinc, a ripe banana to support restful sleep, or a spoonful of unsweetened yogurt to soothe the gut and balance digestion. These small changes offer both comfort and healing, nurturing your prostate rather than aggravating it. Yet as damaging as diet can be, another lifestyle habit proves even more insidious, habit so unconscious that many men are shocked when I first bring it to their attention. I am speaking of the way you sleep. Specifically, the position you assume night after night without a second thought. Over the years, I've watched countless men develop the habit of sleeping on their stomachs. They find it comfortable, perhaps even soothing. But they fail to realize that this very position compresses their lower abdomen under the full weight of their bodies for hours at a time. The prostate, resting directly beneath this burden, is subjected to unrelenting mechanical pressure throughout the night. This prolonged compression does two grave things. First, it restricts the blood vessels responsible for delivering healing oxygen and nutrients to the prostate tissue. Second, it creates a state of chronic irritation, as the gland remains inflamed and crowded within a tight, pressurized pelvic cavity. Over time, this leads to more frequent urinary urges, interrupted flow, and the disheartening sense that despite your best efforts, your body is simply not cooperating. I always encourage my patients to train themselves to adopt side sleeping, especially on the left side. This position promotes healthier circulation, relieving pressure on the pelvic region. A small pillow placed between the knees maintains spinal alignment and further reduces strain on the lower abdomen. For those who struggle to maintain this posture, a supportive body pillow can serve as a gentle physical reminder to stay in the optimal position throughout the night. By relieving this nocturnal pressure, you allow your prostate the space to relax, repair, and recover in the way nature intended. But even beyond diet and posture, there remains one final silent assassin, one that reaches deeper than any physical habit. It is not what you eat or how you sleep, but what weighs upon your mind. I am speaking of stress, the invisible hand that strangles your nervous system, poisons your hormones, and stokes the fires of inflammation deep within your prostate. Over and over again in my practice, I sat with men who arrived at my office exhausted, not simply from their urinary struggles, but from the relentless anxieties they carried into bed each night. Worries about their health, their finances, their family responsibilities, or the relentless march of age itself. And while these fears may seem disconnected from the prostate at first glance, they are intimately linked through the delicate machinery of your nervous system. When your mind is locked in worry, your body activates its ancient defense system, the sympathetic nervous response, or what many call fight or flight. Your heart rate rises. Your blood vessels constrict. Your adrenal glands flood your bloodstream with cortisol, the stress hormone. This surge of cortisol not only robs you of restful sleep, but triggers systemic inflammation throughout your body, including within the delicate tissues of your prostate. Even more troubling is cortisol's long-term impact on hormonal balance. Elevated cortisol levels suppress your production of testosterone, a vital hormone for maintaining a healthy prostate. As testosterone falls and inflammation rises, you enter a dangerous cycle where prostate swelling accelerates and urinary symptoms worsen. This, my dear listener, is why no healing journey is complete without addressing the storms of the mind. I counseled my patients time and again that true healing requires creating an evening ritual of calm, a conscious decision to release the day's burdens before lying down to rest. Simple but powerful techniques such as deep breathing exercises, quiet journaling, listening to soft instrumental music, or guided relaxation can soothe the nervous system and prepare your body for genuine restoration. It is a tragic truth that many men walk into the later years of their lives believing they are prisoners of fate, believing that age alone has stolen their peace, their sleep, and their freedom. But as your doctor, I am here to tell you that fate has far less power than you think. These lifestyle habits, salty snacks, harmful sleep positions, and unchecked stress are not destiny. They are choices, and choices, once seen clearly, can be changed. By breaking these silent patterns, you are not merely reducing irritation. You are reclaiming your body's natural ability to heal. You are allowing your prostate, your bladder, and your entire nervous system to step back from the brink and rediscover balance. But we are not yet finished. In our next step, I will reveal the practical tool I have personally recommended to many of my patients, a simple yet powerful way to track your habits, measure your progress, and take command of your healing journey, day by day. This is where awareness turns into sustained action. Stay with me, because what comes next may give you the structure and clarity you have long been searching for. Over the years, I've learned a humbling truth as a physician. Knowledge alone is not enough. You may understand the problem. You may even recognize the habits that silently undermine your health. But between knowing and healing lies a far greater challenge: consistency. The daily discipline to make small changes, to monitor progress, to stay accountable over weeks, months, and years. And this, I have seen, is where many men falter, not because they lack the desire, but because they lack the structure to turn knowledge into sustainable action. As your doctor, I cannot sit idly and watch men slip through the cracks of their own good intentions. That is why I've spent years searching for ways to help my patients take control of their health in a way that feels simple, practical, and empowering. And this is where I introduce you to one of the most valuable tools I've ever recommended for prostate health. A personal tracking system designed not for doctors, not for clinics, but for you. Let me explain why this approach matters so deeply. The prostate is not an organ that changes overnight. Its healing, its calming, its return to balance requires a slow, steady march. You will not wake up tomorrow after one good night's sleep or one healthy meal and feel completely renewed. No. Key improvements are subtle at first: a slight reduction in urgency, one fewer nighttime trip to the bathroom, a deeper stretch of uninterrupted sleep. These changes often arrive so gently that, without paying attention, you may not even recognize them. And yet these small signs are the seeds of profound healing. Far too often, I've witnessed patients become discouraged simply because they fail to notice their own progress. They would sit before me, frustrated, convinced that nothing was improving. But when we carefully reviewed their symptom logs together, how many times they woke each night, how much fluid they consumed, how frequently they felt pelvic discomfort patterns emerged. Improvements they had overlooked were quietly taking root. The act of tracking, my friend, is not about perfection, it is about awareness. This is why I have always encouraged my patients to keep a dedicated prostate health journal. In the past, it was a simple notebook kept on the nightstand, where they recorded the number of bathroom visits, the quality of their sleep, any feelings of pressure or discomfort, and even their emotional state before bedtime. Over time, this simple practice allowed both the patient and myself to detect what was working and what needed adjustment. It offered a clear view of progress that feelings alone could never fully capture. But today, Modern technology has made this process even more accessible. Now, with a simple app designed specifically for men facing prostate challenges, you can record these same crucial data points with just a few taps on your phone or tablet. This is not complicated medical software filled with intimidating jargon. It is designed with your needs in mind, clear, simple, and user-friendly. Each evening and morning, you input a few key pieces of information. How many times did you wake to urinate? How deeply did you sleep? Did you experience pelvic discomfort? How many fluids did you consume and when? Over time, the app builds a clear picture of your body's rhythms. Patterns that once hid in the fog of memory are now made visible. And let me share something even more powerful. When you work alongside your physician, having this detailed record becomes a priceless resource. Instead of relying on vague recollections during appointments, I think I've been getting up 3 or 4 times a night, maybe more lately. You present concrete, objective data. This allows your doctor to tailor recommendations with far greater precision, adjusting strategies based on real trends, not guesses. I remember vividly one of my patients, Jack, a strong-willed man from Florida, who had long struggled with discouragement. He told me, "Doctor, I feel like nothing is changing." But when we reviewed 3 months of his tracking data, something remarkable appeared. His nightly bathroom visits had dropped from 5 to 3, then to 2. His longest stretch of uninterrupted sleep had grown from 1 hour to nearly 4 hours. His daytime energy was gradually returning. It was not wishful thinking, it was measurable progress. Jack's face lit up when he saw his own numbers for the first time laid bare in front of him. That moment of seeing undeniable proof of improvement reignited his motivation to continue. It reminded him that healing was happening just more quietly than he had realized. This, my friend, is the beauty of tracking. It transforms invisible victories into visible ones. It lifts the fog of uncertainty and replaces it with clarity. It restores hope on days when you might otherwise feel discouraged. And in my many years walking alongside men through this journey, I have seen hope become the most powerful medicine of all. Now, I must be transparent with you. In order to maintain the quality of support and to ensure personalized feedback, access to this type of specialized tracking app is often limited to a certain number of new users each month. This is not some mass-market product pushed on everyone. It is a tool designed for men like you who are truly ready to take ownership of their health journey. If you happen to be watching this video while enrollment remains open, I strongly encourage you to seize the opportunity. Because what I have learned, after guiding thousands of men through this path, is that action delayed often becomes action abandoned. The window to reclaim your prostate health is open, but only for as long as you are willing to walk through it. Healing your prostate is not about a single miracle cure. It is about paying attention. It is about noticing the small changes. It is about giving your body the time, the conditions, and the care it needs to do what it was designed to do: heal itself. As your doctor, as a man who has devoted his life to this work, I am telling you, you have far more power over your prostate health than you've ever been led to believe. And the act of simply tracking your own journey may be the key that finally unlocks lasting improvement. But we are not finished yet. Now that you have the knowledge and the tools to act, there remains one final truth I must share, a message that brings together everything we've learned and empowers you to move forward with confidence. In our final part, I will show you how small, consistent choices can lead to powerful results, and why your journey toward healing does not require perfection, but simply requires you to begin. Stay with me, my friend. The most important lesson is still to come. As I sit here speaking to you as both your doctor and your fellow traveler on this road called life, I want to share with you one of the most profound lessons I've learned in my long years of practice, a lesson that extends far beyond the walls of any medical office and touches the very heart of healing itself. True change, lasting healing, is not born from grand gestures. It does not demand perfection, nor does it require sudden transformations. It begins with something much smaller, much humbler, one small, conscious choice at a time. Many men come to me overwhelmed, carrying years of frustration, fear, and guilt upon their shoulders. They feel that if they cannot fix everything all at once, they may as well not try at all. They believe the mountain is simply too steep to climb. But I have gently reminded them, as I remind you now, you are not climbing the entire mountain today. You are only taking the first step. And that first step, though small, contains more power than you realize. You see, your prostate did not become inflamed in a single night. It was not one poor decision, one moment of stress, or one extra snack that created the symptoms you are experiencing now. Rather, it was years of small habits accumulating, quietly shifting your body's delicate balance, until one day the discomfort grew loud enough to demand your attention. And just as the problem was built through tiny patterns, so too can your healing be constructed through tiny corrections. Every time you choose to adjust your water intake earlier in the day, you take pressure off your bladder and give your prostate a gentler night. Every time you turn off the television and step away from the screen 30 minutes before bed, you protect your brain's natural rhythm and invite your body into deeper, more restorative sleep. Every evening you prioritize emptying your bladder fully before lying down, you reduce needless strain upon your prostate tissues. Each morning, you nourish your body with healthier food choices. You lower the silent inflammation that has slowly stolen your comfort. And every night you take a few moments to release the worries from your mind, you signal to your nervous system, it is safe to rest. The beauty of this approach is not only its simplicity, but its sustainability. You are not asked to abandon everything you enjoy, or to live under rigid, joyless rules. Instead, you are invited to enter into partnership with your body, to work with its natural design rather than against it. The human body is remarkably forgiving. It does not demand perfection. It asks only that you care for it with consistency and intention. Over the years, I have witnessed extraordinary transformations not from men who became saints overnight, but from those who patiently applied small changes over time. The man who went from 5 nightly bathroom trips to 1. The man who, after years of fatigue, rediscovered his energy and began enjoying his mornings again. The man who no longer feared his prostate, but learned how to support it gently, day by day. What moved me most deeply was not just their improved lab results or reduced symptoms. It was seeing the return of confidence to their faces, the restoration of dignity, hope, and peace of mind. They no longer lived under the shadow of fear, but instead stood in the light of understanding and personal agency. And that, my friend, is what I desire for you, not perfection. Not unrealistic promises, but ownership. The quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are no longer a passive victim to your body's changes, but an active participant in your own healing journey. I want you to understand that this path of small, steady change is not merely a temporary fix. It is the very foundation of long-term health. When you nourish your prostate night after night with these simple adjustments, you are not merely controlling symptoms. You are restoring the conditions your body needs to heal itself naturally. You are allowing your hormones to stabilize. You are calming the constant irritation. You are improving circulation and oxygen flow. You are allowing sleep to once again become truly restorative. Most importantly, you are breaking the vicious cycle of frustration and fear that traps so many men in helplessness. And I promise you, once you feel the relief that comes from even the smallest victories, your motivation will grow stronger. You will no longer be driven by desperation, but by hope. If you have stayed with me through this entire journey, through each layer of understanding, habit, and solution, then I commend you. You have already taken the most crucial first step. You have chosen awareness. You have chosen not to surrender to the easy lie that nothing can be done. You have chosen to become an active caretaker of your own health. And for that, you have my deepest respect. As I close this message to you, I will leave you with one final truth, a truth I shared with every patient who sat in my office before my retirement, looking for answers. Your body does not expect you to be perfect. It simply asks you to be present, to pay attention, to offer it the small acts of care, repeated over time, that allow its powerful systems of repair to do what they were designed to do. The path is not complicated, but it does require you to begin. Begin today. Choose one habit to adjust, then another tomorrow. And as the days pass, you will look back months from now and realize you have built a new reality for yourself, one where your sleep is deeper, your bathroom visits are fewer, and your confidence in your health has returned. If this message has spoken to you, I invite you to continue walking this path with me. Subscribe to this channel so that I may continue to guide you with practical, science-backed advice each week. There is much more I wish to share with you. And together, step by step, we will turn small changes into life-changing results. Thank you for trusting me with your time, your attention, and your health. May you sleep peacefully tonight, and may your body reward your care with strength and balance in the days to come. As your doctor and as a man who has spent a lifetime caring for men just like you, allow me to leave you with one final reflection that ties together everything we've discussed. What you are facing right now with your prostate health is not simply a medical condition, it is a crossroads in your life. A place where two paths meet. One path leads to frustration, resignation, and helplessness, while the other leads to awareness, empowerment, and healing. Throughout my career, I have watched countless men believe that their decline was inevitable. They surrendered to the belief that aging was their enemy and that nothing could be done. But the truth I've witnessed time and time again is this: while we cannot control the passing of years, we can absolutely control how we care for ourselves within those years. And that makes all the difference. What I've shown you through this journey are not complex medical procedures, expensive treatments, or miracle pills. Instead, they are simple, small habits, daily choices that seem almost too minor to matter. But when practiced consistently, these small adjustments become powerful tools that allow your body to finally step out of the cycle of inflammation and struggle, and into a rhythm of healing. By adjusting when you drink water, limiting your screen time before bed, improving your digestion, emptying your bladder before sleep, avoiding salty snacks, improving your sleep posture, and managing your stress, you are giving your prostate the one thing it desperately needs: the space and conditions to heal itself. And that is the greatest secret of all your body was designed to heal, if only you allow it. The deeper lesson here reaches beyond prostate health. It reminds us of a universal truth about life itself. Small, consistent actions shape our destiny. Whether it is our health, our relationships, our finances, or our peace of mind, it is not grand, heroic efforts that create lasting change, but the humble commitment to doing what is right, one day at a time. I invite you now to carry this mindset into every area of your life. Start small, but start today. Whether it's your health or any other part of your well-being, understand that you hold more power in your daily decisions than you may have ever realized. Now, as we close this chapter together, I would like to hear your thoughts. Let me ask you a simple question. Which do you believe is more powerful in creating lasting health improvements? A huge changes done once in a while. B. Small changes done consistently every day. Please share your answer in the comment section below. I read every response personally, and your thoughts may inspire others who are walking this same path. If you found this video helpful, I kindly ask for your support. Please subscribe to this channel so I can continue creating more valuable content to guide men like you. If you feel moved to do so, any donation, whether large or small, would be deeply appreciated and will help keep this channel alive. Though I am retired, I have chosen to spend my time sharing this knowledge, and your support allows me to continue reaching more people who need this information. Thank you for trusting me to be part of your health journey. May you experience peace, strength, and healing in every area of your life.